Hello, Internet. Welcome to another Wednesday's serial. It's a big week, and I just wanted to talk comics because I got a good pile this week, and I just wanted to dig in. I'm not going to be spoiling anything for those who are worried, so yay. First off, let's talk DC, because that's the big thing this week, rightfully so. I'm going to start off with Green Arrow. I got 3 issues this week: Superman, Batman, Green Arrow. Green Arrow was the least of them, and partially because the run of Green Arrow lately, it's been a comic I've not honestly even bothered to read. I'd flip through the pages to be like, I bought this, I might as well flip through it. But I couldn't be brought to read it. It's rare that I even continue a comic that far, but there's 2 issues left. So there we were. So I've been pretty down on Green Arrow, but because of frickin' Travis, he became one of my favorite characters. There's still more I want to read backlog-wise, but someday. But today, picking up this, the Rebirth issue, this is what they should have done with the new 52 Green Arrow from the start. This was great. This comic is not classic comic book art. I don't think the art layout and feel is very reminiscent of Spider-Gwen, actually. And the story is just kind of moving. I mean, it's mostly to just kind of give Green Arrow and Black Canary something to talk about. And he's setting himself up here in the way that they're describing him as social justice warrior, which I just brought a smile to my face. I thought it was perfect. And so now we have this dichotomy of Queen. If you've seen any of the adverts for this, it's how can you fight the man when you are the man? Like, it's this interesting idea. So the idea of him being rich is actually part of the story. So I'm liking that. Alright, next up is Batman. This is one of the best Batman comics I've read in a while. New-wise, anyways. And it was interesting. There's some questions that are going to be coming out. In a way, the 52nd issue of Batman kind of maybe in a way leads into this. I don't really know. But this feels like they're setting up for a few new things, obviously. And left me interested where some of the other Bat books were going to be. Honestly, I'd be a lot more tempted to pick up Detective if it wasn't for the fact that it's Tinian on it, and Tinian is hit or miss. But I'm really looking forward to Batman proper now, and curious to see where that's all going to go. Then, of course, frankly, my favorite of the bunch, Superman. Partially because I've been on a Superman kick, and what was really funny in here was there was a bit of a retelling of the death of Superman, including a panel that is very much, that famous image with the cape and Lois holding him. And I'm a little confused about this. It feels like this is the one that's playing off the most of something that happened in New 52, so I might actually have to find a way to go back and read some of that stuff, because I'm curious. But it got me curious in a good, organic way, the way it used to be when I read comics. You'd read something new, and it kind of referenced some older comics. You went back and you read them, and you found out. Holy crap. And this honestly has me curious. I will say the one part that I really would still hold against this whole Rebirth thing is this ad explaining the Superman comics, kind of what's going on. Made sense in the Superman one, but there wasn't one for the Batman one, which probably needed it the most, considering how many freaking Batman books are. And for Green Arrow, I don't know where you tie it in, but it was the Superman one again. So, yeah. I'm very curious about Action Comics now, and I might even try picking that up. I'm curious about Superwoman. I'm honestly curious about all of them, but at a certain point, $2.99 twice a month, how many can you pick up? But that's where I'm kind of getting to with this DC stuff, is how many can I pick up? I might want to go past my initial amount. I'm going away for most of this upcoming month, so I'm probably going to hold off at least that long. But so far, this stuff's been hidden real hard, and the Superman issue has me really curious about what's next. Also, what's going on with the various Supermen in this comic. Interesting stuff. and I'm actually really excited. What's really funny is all this stuff is so much what I've been asking for, and they kicked it off with Rebirth, which seems like the polar opposite of everything. So on the upswing, I know Justice League isn't a book I want to be picking up, but a lot of the other stuff I'm very interested in. So, hey, if you're curious about any of the DC books, it seems like they have some energy, so they're doing some of the stuff right, which is good. It's just funny that they're leading off with the worst foot that's probably most rooted in what they're considering a failure to begin with anyways. So, yeah. Alright. Then there's Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything. This was fun. Campbell's back on art, and she can't be beat. I think she's my favorite modern TMT artist, but maybe. Stiff competition, but this issue was fun and pretty, and she's the right artist for this Turtle Bee book of the next few months. This one, the turtles are here and they're messing around with Renee, so that's how you're getting the time travel thing. If you know Turtles lore at all, Renee has access to time travel, and she's a bit of a ditz usually. She's written a little less ditzy here, but not as much so as she has in the past, and is actually much more enjoyable. But this is really playing with Bebop and Rocksteady, and they actually meet their former younger selves from the year 2000, and this just seems like it's going to be a rad, awesome, fun book. Time travel and them smashing stuff, and the turtles kind of playing with it, and they're doing some weird asides with it as well. I just think this is great stuff. And speaking of meeting yourself on a path, but on a completely tonal shift, Paper Girls. This book didn't start out in a way that really hooked me, but it was $2.99. Keep up. And this has slowly become a very engaging story. I'm glad I stuck with this one, but I don't know quite how to talk about this one without feeling like I'm spoiling it, but thumbs up nonetheless. And then, I guess, Deadly Class. This is part 5 of Die For Me, and for anybody reading this knows that stuff's been going down, and this issue stuff goes down. I literally actually cannot start talking about it because I think about 3 pages in, stuff that would be considered spoilers starts happening. But for a while I feel like Deadly Class kind of slowed down and hasn't been through this whole event, so I'm kind of curious to see, and would actually appreciate it slowing down a little bit to deal with some of the fallout, and it inevitably will, unless this somehow magically was the last issue, which would be tragic. So, there you go. Now, let's talk Marvel. This is the only book I got, but there's some stuff to talk about in here beyond it. First of all, this is dealing with the whole Iron Man thing still, and Morales is in here, I guess, kind of. But also Regent's here. What's interesting now is Regent is a villain that was introduced in an alternate universe timeline thing. But there's some callbacks to here in a way that works in an interesting kind of way. So that's an interesting thing I haven't seen done in comics before. A new big bad introduced in something out of continuity and then brought in a very thoughtful manner. What's hard to swallow here is Regent's been a player, and all throughout this book there are all these ads. So we have Kingpin as part of Civil War II, Who Will Fall, Civil War II, and all these various covers of Civil War II, one of which spoils that one character in here that looks like they might have died, didn't die, but you kind of knew that anyways. What gets me, though, is we're seeing that the 2 heads of the Civil War, Captain Marvel and Iron Man again, which I think is a faux pas. But what's hard to swallow is you see Cap proper with Captain America, but if he's hailing Hydra, how is she not automatically on the wrong side? How does that work? That feels icky. That whole thing, I'm sure people have a lot of opinions. I've read a lot of things. It's gone to death threats. Obviously wrong. But, you know, I'm not a huge Captain America fan, but I understand people's reaction to that. I mean, churning that character into effectively a neo-Nazi, yeah, it's problematic. You can argue plot twists, you can argue a lot of things. It's a hack. It's a hack move, and maybe the comic will actually turn around and be decently written, but the way that they played it and presented it wasn't smart. But beyond that, I'm really curious, and I'm really hoping Amazing Spider-Man doesn't get rolled in to all the Civil War stuff, because that would be painful to sit through. But right now I'm only reading the Spider-related books from Marvel, and yeah, so I don't want that sucked into anything else, because I'm not on board for a lot of Marvel stuff right now. And if I'm looking at more DC, there's no way I'm going to pick up more Marvel, especially when there's that cost difference, and frankly, the quality of DC's going up while their price is going down. You can't beat that. So, in the DC versus Marvel thing, looks like DC's going to be winning for a little bit, at least I hope, if things fall through. But of course, you know, there's all the other books, and it feels like hopefully I'll keep reading more of that, but DC might be swamping my pull again, so hey, that's it. Just wanted to kind of do a quick video, just talk about some of the stuff, because I was kind of amped up after this week, and yeah, hope you all have a great one. Catch you soon, and keep reading, folks.